What's up, everybody? How you doing? My name's Mike. Thank you for joining me at Synalytics Crypto here. We're growing rapidly. I really appreciate all of you guys. What is going on with the market? Is it time to panic sell? No. Let me tell you why I'm not worried at all. Because I'm sitting here chilling. I got my heart-shaped plant here. Beautiful plant. We just hang out. We watch Bitcoin go up. We watch it go down. And you know what? We're not worried because we've been in this business for almost 5 years. And these things happen. We talk about it a lot on the channel, you guys. This is a much needed pullback, as are all pullbacks. I know that people don't like to see their investments go down, especially when you buy something and it's kind of in the middle of a heated run, and then all of a sudden we get these pullbacks, and then we pull back a little bit more and you think, okay, buy the dip. And then it dips further, and then it dips further. So, you know, you can have that strategy of buying multiple dips, but let me explain something to you guys. Bitcoin is at $52,000. That's not bad. Look, this could pull back more. I'm not going to lie. This is a dip. Is it the dip before the next bull run? I'm not sure. We'll find out in the next couple days because we could easily go down to $45,000. I don't really see Bitcoin going below 47 or 48, but we could easily dip down to about $45,000, and that would be a great buying opportunity. It'd be great for you. It'd be great for me. But you know who it would really be great for? Say it with me. Say it with me. The big investors, guys. Institutional money. Institutional money would pour into Bitcoin if we dipped below to those levels. And that essentially would just kind of bring the market right back up. So my personal assessment is that the market's taking a breather. It needs to take a breather. Look, we are not done with this bull run. I repeat, we are not done with this bull run. In fact, I think, and I'm not a financial advisor, but my gut is telling me and my research is telling me that we are getting ready to go on a massive bull run, especially in the altcoins. My personal target for Bitcoin before the next pullback would be just under $70,000. In fact, I'm not big on predictions on this channel, but hey, we're doing things publicly. Let's timestamp it. Why not? I think that Bitcoin is going to get really close to $70,000 by the end of April. And then I think there will be another pullback, and then I think there will be another leg up. So that has yet to be seen, but this is based on some of the research that I do by covering and pouring through a lot of the news. Let's look at things right now. Like I said, Bitcoin 52, Ethereum is taking a little bit of a hit. The layer 2 scaling solutions are not quite ready. Big surprise. Look, everybody saw this coming. If you've been around long enough, you know that Ethereum is always a day late and a dollar short. Now, Ethereum is going to be just fine, you guys. They are going to implement these layer 2 solutions eventually. Now, the Uniswap news coming out on the 5th of May is a lot later than people thought it was going to be. Apparently, there are some things that are not as good as they want to do, so I would rather have them fix everything they've got to do before they open up Uniswap version 3, because that's going to open up the world of trading without insane gas fees and Ethereum, hopefully, to the masses, which would be great because there'll be a lot of action in the altcoins, especially the low cap gems that we all love to explore so much. But yeah, you know, things are pulling back. Cardano's got some big news apparently tomorrow. Could be huge news. Nobody really knows. There's a lot of speculation as to what it could be, but Charles Hoskinson's been toting this one. So Cardano may be a good entry point. Of course, when things are bleeding a lot like this, it's always good to try. You're never going to catch the bottom, you guys. Just like you're not really going to sell out at the top unless it's totally by accident. You're not going to catch the bottom. So, you know, if you buy something and it dips more, 10%, you know, don't fret. If that's average in and average out. That's the best way you can really do this. So I'm not going to go too far down this list, you guys, but yeah, things are in a bit of a stalemate right now. Chainlink, I keep saying that Chainlink is going to blow sky high. When it does, it will, but it's dropped out of the top 10. I wasn't expecting that, but hey, pullbacks like this, I mean, if you look at the 24-hour, there's a decent amount of red in here. Buy red, sell green. Buy red, sell green. That's the way you do it in this market, because if you're selling the green, even if it keeps continuing to go up and you're like, oh man, I wish I would have held, you can't play that I wish I would have game. Because if you do that, you're just going to constantly be beating yourself up. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be happy with your entry points. You're never going to be happy with your exit points. Look, if you're making money, you're doing well. If you're taking some off the top and it keeps going up, so what? you're holding that on the side, so when you see these red days, you can have something to put back in. When you get in the situation where you're wanting to buy more crypto, but you don't really have the cash to do it with, so you're selling this crypto to buy this crypto, sometimes it can work out great. But if you're doing that because you're bored, or you're sick and tired of not making those 50% gainers in one day, because you can get really used to that stuff, that's not the best way to do things. So let's go take a look at some pieces of news here. I'm not going to read in these articles. I'm just going to show you guys that if you research the news, you can really kind of keep yourself from hitting a panic point and being like, I've got to sell it all, because when they go down, they bounce back pretty hard. I do expect to continue to see a little bit more of a pullback before we go back up. But based on the news, you guys, we are definitely in an extended bull run. Everything is going to be fine. We're going to see things this year you'll see. You'll see. Mark my words. We're coming up to a really, really sweet spot, probably towards the end of spring and entering into summer. I think things are going to be really, really good. So let's take a look at a couple pieces of the news here, guys. JMP Securities expects $1.5 trillion to flow into Bitcoin as retail wealth management industry follows Morgan Stanley to offer BTC to clients. This is a big deal. Like I said, I'm not going to read this article, but I just want to point out some of the headliners for you guys so that you can breathe easy and you can calm down and you can know that holding is ultimately the best strategy. Now, if you think we're going to dip further and you want to sell an entry point and then buy back, that can be a good strategy. But at that point now, you're rooting for things to go down. So you can really flip your mentality based on what your investment strategy is. You see where I'm going with this? If you went in hard, you obviously want to see something go up, and if it goes up, great. But once you start shorting the market, I think it's more dangerous to short during a bull run, and we are still in a bull run. So the problem with shorting it is it's almost like how it works. As soon as you short something, right, with the strategy of I'm going to get back in, I'm going to make 10-12% back in this asset without putting in any more fiat into it, you're going to end up FOMOing back in, especially if you're holding a great project. Look, if you're holding a crap coin and you don't really care about this coin, then so be it. But if you're married to a certain coin, if you really like a certain project and you're rubbing your hands going, oh, it's dip time, I'm going to sell, I'm going to buy back lower. If you don't, you're going to end up buying back higher because you love that project. And I know this from experience. I've done it myself more than once. I don't play that game anymore. I like the projects that I'm holding, and so I just ride out these dips. I just breathe easy. I drink some water. I hang out with my plants, and I wait for it to go back up, because long-term holding is the best strategy. So I don't know if you guys have read any of this while I was sitting here babbling on and on, but what this guy's basically saying, that there's a lot of money on the sidelines, you guys. A lot of money. Everybody's going to start hopping on the Bitcoin train. Trust you me, it's happening. Next piece of news. Jim Cramer, this guy. What a kook. But still, the point of this guy is that he has a wide-reaching audience. He's the CNBC guy, he's the stock guy, and he was so, he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know he was talking about crypto. He didn't understand about Bitcoin. When you get people like this that have a huge audience and he starts talking about like this, that's when some of the older money's going to start coming in, because crypto is mostly like the millennials and these kids now these days. I mean, teenagers. You got the kids on the TikTok, and they're talking about doing all this investment because basically mainstream news spreads news, and so you've got all those things. But when Jim Cramer talks, most of his audience are like, they're in their 40s and in their 50s and their 60s, and they've been holding onto these stocks, and people are starting to see crypto do so well, and they're like getting ready to move stock money into crypto, which is why we have so many new crypto investors, which is also why I make a lot of these videos, because a lot of you are newer investors, and I like to really try to just give you some of my expertise simply by being in here and having experience, and by making mistakes. Making mistakes can actually benefit you in the long run. But anyway, this guy comes out and he says he invested $500,000 in Bitcoin after gold let him down. So, these guys, they talk a lot about the precious metals. And yes, precious metals are not, they're not going up. And you think they would be with what's going on in the economy and the dollar, taking a crap, and them printing more dollars and printing more dollars. The most hard assets go up in comparison. Now, gold and silver is highly manipulated. We'll talk about that in another video. But, he didn't make a huge investment. Well, what he's saying is like, hey, look, gold ain't doing it for me anymore. And a lot of people are having that sentiment. If you follow precious metals, you'll see gold is relatively where it's been for a while now, because people are taking their investments, they're putting it where they would normally put it in gold, they're putting it into crypto. And I honestly think that that's probably the best move to do. And eventually, when you make some money, go ahead and buy your gold back, because gold is great. I love gold on this channel. I love gold. I love silver. Precious metals are what I was originally investing in before I even got into crypto. So, that's he's a TV personality, sure, but him speaking, it carries weight. Next piece of news. This is big, actually. Well, no, this one isn't the big one. The next one is, but Microsoft is surveying its Xbox users about adding a Bitcoin payment option to the store. Imagine that, guys. Yeah, I definitely saw this coming. I'm not a gamer. I don't know anything about games, but eventually, of course, they're going to add a Bitcoin payment option, because everybody else is offering Bitcoin payment options. PayPal hasn't even opened up their merchant payments yet, which they will. Visa and MasterCard, they're laying the foundation right now for people to be able to spend their Bitcoin through their platform. So there's so many things that are in the works right now, just because we're in a little bit of a lull and we're dipping a little. If you listen, I'm so tired of the chatter. Something goes down 8, 10, 12%, people freak out and they say the bull run's over. You got to sell everything. People literally cannot handle. You guys not you guys, because you guys are smart. You guys are good investors. You follow Cylinic's channel. You're doing something right. But so many of the new people, they're in here and they can't handle these dips, especially if you're coming from the stock market. You're not used to this stuff. This is like investing on steroids, you guys. So if you can't handle the dips that are happening right now, get out of crypto. Okay, because the highs are great, but the lows come too. The dips have to come. If we go up in a straight line, everything would come to a very abrupt end. So I'm just saying, if you can't handle what you're experiencing right now in real time, you don't belong in crypto. You're going to get wrecked. You are going to play with you're going to invest upon your emotions, and you're not going to learn how to hold to these kinds of things. You're probably going to be the kind of person who buys the green and sells the red. Not smart. Just saying. Next piece of news. Tesla, this is big, brings Bitcoin into retail reality. This is really big news. In fact, this news actually pumped Bitcoin back up about 4 or 5% when it came out, but that's not important, because that's a temporary pump. This is huge, because if Tesla's going to do this, you guys, so many other corporations and big companies are right behind them. Trust me. This is big. So basically, you can buy Tesla products with Bitcoin now. And they've openly come out and they said that the Bitcoin that you use to buy a Tesla is not going to be turned into fiat. They're going to be saving it in Bitcoin, because they have a long-term vision. They understand Bitcoin. It's not just about the $1.5 billion that they invested. Now they're saying, buy our stuff with Bitcoin so we can have more Bitcoin. Massive, massive news. Not going to read the article. Just wanted to bring it to your attention. Next piece of news. Fidelity, this is also huge, enters the Bitcoin ETF race. Look, eventually there will be an ETF approved. I personally have a little bit of mixed feelings on ETFs, because although basically Bitcoin's price would blow up, because if one ETF gets approved, there will be others that get approved. It's just a matter of time. And if you look at what the Canadian ETF did, they got like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin orders to be traded as an ETF, and that's good, but it pales in comparison to if the United States approves an ETF. It will be massive. But of course, then it opens the door to basically paper exchange traded Bitcoin, which is what I think is wrong with the gold and silver market. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but and ultimately, overall, I think it would be good. It allows for more manipulation. And speaking of manipulation, guys, I will give you my theory as to what's going on after this last piece of news. Goldman Sachs files for ETF with Bitcoin option. Look, it's a race right now. It's a race to open up a Bitcoin ETF, because these companies, these corporations, they know they can make a whole lot of money if they offer an ETF. Clients with big money, I'm talking very, very mega rich people who don't want to deal with the custody of owning and trading and dealing with Bitcoin and exchanges and the risks and all that stuff. The exchange traded fund will basically open the door to basically potentially trillions of dollars pouring into this space. Now, when that happens and you see Bitcoin run up from where it's at today into the 200,000 to 300,000 range, that's when it's time to probably take some profits off the table and wait for the pullback, because as hard as the hockey sticks are equally as hard as the come downs. So remember that, you guys. There are some massive moves coming this year in the crypto market. Quarter 2 is going to be huge. Be ready. Be ready. Because if you can't handle the lows, you can't handle the dips, you're not going to know what to do when the prices go up, because you're going to get caught up in greed mode, basically, and you're going to see a 10x, and you're going to want that 10x to turn into a 50x, and before you know it, you miss out on a 20x, and then it starts to go red again, and then you start freaking out thinking it's all over, and it's just a vicious cycle, you guys. So you don't want to get involved in that. There's a lot of good news circling around, and my personal assessment on what we're seeing right now, this particular dip, this particular pullback, which is nowhere near the typical 30 to 50% range. I don't even think it's going to get there. It may, and if it does, believe me, it's fine, it's healthy. When you start seeing about a 30% dip, even a 25% dip in Bitcoin, you'll see even more in the altcoins. That's really where your entry point is. This is just kind of like a ride the dip out scenario right now. And I'll tell you what, it's the markets playing with the longs and the shorts. This is what they do. This is what they've always done. It is pure manipulation. You're probably going to see articles coming out pretty soon about how much money was liquidated, whether it's longs or whether it's shorts. That's what they do. They play the game. They wait until it's very, very long heavy, and then they wreck the longs, and then they wait, oh gosh, everything's on the way down. They create this sentiment, this negative environment, and everybody starts shorting Bitcoin, and before you know it, then the longs come in and wreck the shorts. So that's what's going on. It's plain and simple. This is totally standard. And I know I'm not trying to be derogatory to any of you guys, especially you new investors. That's actually, you guys are the reasons why I'm here. So I'm speaking very frankly when I talk about these things. And if this is the first time you experience it, I understand it's hard. You buy something and then it dips 15, 18%. You're freaking out. You can't do that in crypto because it's gonna go back up. And when it goes up and you have these massive gains, guess what? It's gonna go back down. Cycles, you guys. Get used to the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency cycles. Learn how to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Don't freak out. In a bull run, don't sell for a loss. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. If you're playing with your lunch money, if you're playing with your car money, if you're playing with your rent money, shame on you. You shouldn't be doing that, because that adds extra pressure to the price action. If you're forced to sell at a loss, you're going to get a bad taste in your mouth, and you're never going to want to do this again, and you're going to miss out on everything that's about to come rock the crypto world. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have not liked, please give me a like, a thumbs up. If you like the content, in fact, if you made it this far, just give me a thumbs up. That's all I ask for my subscribers. You guys are so awesome. Join the club, and please tell somebody about these videos. Tell somebody, especially your newer investor friends, to go out there and subscribe to Cinelinx Crypto, because you guys know me by now. I'm not a moon boy. I'm not going to sell you fake hope. I'm not going to tell you that everything you invest in is going to be 100x. I was watching freaking BitBoy, man. That guy, dude, he comes out with these clickbait videos, and I get it. He's the #1 crypto guy in the world. Good for you, BitBoy. But you know what? 2 days ago, you came out with a clickbait title saying Bitcoin could go down to 17K. Really, bro? And then today he was talking about, with this interview with the guy, Bitcoin 100K imminent. Bro, make up your mind. I mean, I get it. You want to stay on top. You're the #1 guy. But dude, that's the selfishness of these people that I don't understand. They think it's harmless. They think they put these titles in and it's going to get people to click, and it does. I don't do that. I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to be BitBoy. Okay, but when you have an influence like that, you can't put that kind of stuff out there, because people think it's real. They react to it. And if this guy would spend 5 minutes reading the comments in his videos, he would see that people are tired of it. They're getting tired of it. Bitcoin's not going to $17,000, you guys, and it's not going to $100,000 like imminently. Yes, this year Bitcoin will break the 6-figure mark. Bitcoin will hit $100,000 this year. I truly, honestly believe that. Is it going to happen in the next 15 days? No. Is it going to happen tomorrow? No. Is it going to crash overnight down to 17K? Absolutely not. So Like I said, if you like this content, all you gotta do is subscribe, hit the thumbs up, share it with somebody. Let's keep this channel growing, you guys. I appreciate everything you do. Join the Telegram. The links the links down below, and the information's highlighted in blue. We're having a good time. It's a great community. I appreciate all of your guys' effort. I appreciate all of the guys who stay active in the Telegram group. You guys have some really good advice. No one's out there trying to shill junk. No one's out there as far as I know, nobody's out there trying to DM people and try to get them involved in scams. Speaking of scams, if you can see anything below that does not look like Synalytics Crypto, it's not me. They've taken my logo just like they do to everyone else's channel, and they try to get you to join these programs, and they spam and spam. Don't touch it. If it's not highlighted in gray or black or whatever color it is on your monitor, it's not for me. I do often respond to a lot of the comments below. So yes, it's not like if you see a response, it's definitely not me. It probably more likely is me because I do respond, but just make sure that you respond properly. I'm never going to ask you, I'm never going to give you a phone number or an email to subscribe to or anything like that. So it's, you guys at this point, you should all be aware that scammers are all over the place. There's shacks in the water. You got to be careful. Anyways, you guys, peace.